All praise to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, double honors to the elders and apostles of James, rule well, shalom to the hopeful elect. I really want to talk about a situation I had yesterday with a Jake. You know what I mean? I was having a mad headache. To be honest, in the last 2 years, something like that, I've been in this truth forever and I stopped smoking. I've not had near headache, you know what I mean? But recently I've been getting these headaches. So I was thinking, where's these headaches coming from? You know what I mean? And I was rubbing my head, I was talking to some lady, my next door neighbor, and some Jake overheard it, and we were outside like a Jamaican food shop, and he started going into, that we shouldn't eat meat, and all of this stuff. And he was like, yeah, the Bible, Saint James, and I was like, it's King James. And we was talking. He basically said, we're not supposed to eat meat, and he was talking about the scriptures. So I was like, oh, you believe in the Bible? He was like, well, I believe, man wrote the Bible. I believe Shakespeare wrote the Bible, and that was going around. I don't know what the elders and the brothers, and the elder brothers probably touched on it, but I had to look it up, and this is Jake thinking Shakespeare is in this. And if you look at, the third chapter, Psalms chapter 46, third chapter, it says, through the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof, Salah. And you go to verse 9, he maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth, he breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder, he burneth the chariot in the fire. Now, according to Jake, that means, that Shakespeare wrote himself into the Bible. Let's look at the Council of Nicaea, because then, I started talking about the Council of Nicaea because he basically said, Shakespeare wrote it, and we was talking, and I was like, you don't believe in it? He's like, well, I believe in a power, but I really believe in Egyptology. So this guy believes in like Heru, Anubis, and all of that bullcrap. So really and truly, I wasn't really trying to get into a conversation with him, because when it says when you meet a fool, you're supposed to get as far away from him as possible. And I don't have a problem with a brother. He seemed like he had zeal, but not according to knowledge. He was talking to me, and to be honest, he was an honest brother. And he was definitely a Jake. I could tell he was definitely a Jake. You know what I mean? And he was talking about how his baby mom gave him herpes and all of this stuff, and he's curing himself by eating herbs and all of that stuff. And I said, you're really supposed to be eating herbs and stuff like that strictly, when you're sick, because as Daniel said, let's get that. We shall not. Because you're not really supposed to, you're not really supposed to condemn another man for eating meat. And at the end of the day, with the Passover and stuff, you're gonna have to eat lamb. And the Lord made all things for man, basically. So, you know what I mean? Jake, I don't know. Jake thinks he's deep. Jake believes in like the 42 laws of Maat and all of that bullcrap, and you can't really explain anything with those things. Daniel 1:6, but Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with a portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now power had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs, and the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who have appointed your meat and your drink. For why should you see your faces worse likely than the children which are of your sort? Your fellow Israelites. Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king? Or probably speaking about, the lifted up men in that society. Then Daniel said to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel. Let's see if we can get the next chapter. Basically, he was like, he was gonna eat. Thus Melzar took away the portion of the meat and the wine that they should not drink, and gave them pulse, which is basically vegetables. So there's nothing wrong with eating vegetables, but really and truly, you're supposed to really go back to a vegetarian diet when you're sick and you're sickly and you need to cleanse yourself, because that's what they're basically herbs. It doesn't the scripture doesn't say anything about meat being bad for you, especially seeing as Yahweh Shai ate meat. So he gave the people fish when he divided up the fish. And people say, if you're a pescatarian, which is somebody who only eats fish, you're a vegetarian, which doesn't even make any sense, because fish is meat, but they don't see fish as meat. It's not meat as a mammal, as an amphibian, so it's not really classed as meat, which doesn't even make any sense. It's still flesh. You know what I mean? It's a flesh of a living being, and fruit is a flesh of a plant. Jake like to think he's so deep with all of this stuff, but when you really scrutinize what he believes in and why he believes it, and you really cross-examine it with the scriptures, he really doesn't stand to scrutiny. Because I'll say, you know what, you believe in Egyptology or whatever, how was man created? Oh, man created himself. He was like, I've always known this stuff, and he was kind of right, because education is just to bring forth something that's already in you. So he was right on certain things, but he was off in certain things. And you meet some of these Jakes, and they're all patronizing, because it was like, oh yeah, they don't want you talking to me. That's why you got a headache. You seem like you know a few things, but you're just not quite there yet. And I'm looking at this guy like, you it's like our people. You look at them and it's like you feel sorry for, because you know they have the spirit and they have the soul of a Jake, but they're just so off and so wrong. And it's like you want to help them, and at the same time with what they're doing is so blasphemous and so disrespectful to the Most High. And no, I'm not perfect. At the end of the day, if the Lord come back, I want to be pulling on the Lord's coattails, saying, I prophesied in your name. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, my lot is my lot. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna try and take it with a sense of humility. But our people, they're gonna sit there and they're gonna just lie to the Lord and act like they was doing all of this stuff. These times they basically put their middle finger up to the Lord. You believe in Maya, you believe in Anubis, Heru, and all of this bullcrap, and these people haven't served you. You don't understand why your people are in the predicament that you're in. You believe that you're gonna lift yourself up, and if you were gonna do that, then how come you haven't done it in these 400 years? You don't understand that it's a curse on you, and you're not able to do anything without the Lord. This is the way of the Lord showing you can't do anything without Him, because at the end of the day, you didn't create yourself. And He's one of those people that believe, in free will. You created yourself. You believe in free will, and you created yourself. But here it is. You know what I mean? You got physical ailments. If you got free will, why have you got physical ailments? Because if you got free will, you can do anything that you will yourself to do. So get rid of your ailments. If you had free will, you would have made yourself be 6 foot and have a 13-inch penis. You know what I mean? But here you are, you got an average piece. You know what I mean? So all of the, it's like you program a robot to press a button. You know what I mean? And somehow this robot has self-consciousness and is aware it exists. You know what I mean? But it still can't help itself from pressing the button that you've programmed it to program. It really thinks it can do whatever it wants. These times it has to do it because you've programmed it to behave a certain way. Just like all the elect have been programmed to be the way that they are. But these people don't understand that. To them, they really believe in this free will stuff that Esau's peddling, which is Esau's doctrine. And I was watching a video by Elder Apostle Tahar, and he was talking about how our people believe in Esau even when they pretend they don't believe in Esau, because this whole free will doctrine is something that Esau's convinced you that exists. He believes that he's made you believe that you have your own will, even though you're literally your programmed robot, and you're going along whatever path the Most High has set upon you. You're gonna age and you're gonna die like a man, but you believe you're a god. Even watching Kanye, this guy talking about I'm a god. If you're a god, then why did you marry a whore? You know what I mean? If you're God and you can do anything, and you're omnipotent, why don't you get yourself a fresh woman?
You ain't gotta like me, bitch. I ain't the fuck thing. You should not like the baby daddy. And you don't.
I don't like none of y'all. I don't like you, his mammy, his sister, none of y'all. His kids. I don't like y'all.
You gonna get mad at me because you fucked the son of a crackhead. You fucked the son of a crackhead. Who the fuck getting pregnant from a son of a crackhead and you mad at me? You mad at me because you fucked the crackhead son.
How many kids you got?
Who?
How many kids you got?
How many kids I got?
How many kids you got?
According to the state, bitch, none.
How many kids?
Not even you. My womb has reset itself.
And this is our people. Our womb has reset itself. You know what I mean? According to the state, none. So they don't believe, they don't believe in the Most High, really and truly. You believe you're a virgin, or you believe you're worthy of marriage because you ain't had that certificate. These times you've been popped by 100 men, but you've never been a wife, so I've never been married before. You acting like you're fresh and brand new. This is our people, man. They really believe in Esau's doctrine, but you ask them about it, they'll pretend that they're not on.
It has reset itself, so bitch, my womb,
okay, you
bitch,
have
is
4
at
kids,
zero.
so that means
It's 2021. I ain't got no motherfucking kids. Stop playing with me,
ho. You have 4 kids, so that means 3 different niggas nutted in a crackhead's daughter. Okay, so
technically your daddy ain't nothing shit. If you knew how small your daddy dick was, if you knew how small your motherfucking daddy dick was, bitch, he ain't nut. That bitch nutted on my lip and it swam to the top, bitch.
I'm done. Hey, Jake is just on some next shit. Hey, I can't deal with Jake, man. This is John 12:40. He have blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. See, these people don't even realize what they're doing, man. You out here, you saying all this stuff. You're literally you've been programmed by the Lord to be programmed by Esau, who was programmed by the Lord, and you out here saying all of this stuff, thinking that you're on some deep level when you really don't understand what's going on. If the man asks me, how did you get here? The Lord. Why did you do what you do? The Lord. Everything the Lord. And I can back up with scriptures. And, our people don't believe that, so they'll turn around and be like, well, a white man wrote that book and all of this other, gibberish. But when you really scrutinize it, if Esau wrote it, he'd be acting in accordance to the will of the Holy Scriptures. But he's not, because he didn't write it. And our people don't even, they don't think about that, because it doesn't even make sense that this man wrote this book, and this book is a holy book. It's one of the, I believe the Bible, the Rubik's Cube, and an iPhone are the 3 most sold items in the world. If this man really wrote the scriptures, he lived according to it. Clearly, the fact that he don't live according to it means that it wasn't written by him. But people don't consider that. Ecclesiastes 10:3. He also, when he that is a fool walketh by, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to everyone that he's a fool. So I'm talking to this dude, and again, he cool. I can tell he has a zeal, but not according to knowledge. But he told me he's a fool because here it is. The Lord put you in a situation where you caught herpes by your baby mom, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to him or call the brother out. I'm not gonna say his name or anything like that. He was a cool dude. Here the Lord has judged you, and you think, you're gonna save yourself, and he might do. The Lord might heal him, but really and truly, the Lord heals him is only so he can be confounded and confused, and go down that path of thinking he did this for himself. The Lord literally fooled you into thinking that you did all of this stuff by yourself, because even what do you say, the deceiver and the deceived are his. So anything that you do is all in accordance. It's already been written. You feel like you're walking and you're threading this new path, and I believe in black liberation, and I believe in Anubis and Heru, and these people ain't done nothing for you. As a matter of fact, they was abusing your people in Egypt, but you feel like those are your people, and they've done absolutely nothing for you. No 42 laws of might is going to save your ass, man. Matthew 10:22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. So he doesn't understand why he's hated. He believes he's hated because, black people failed, because, it was in their own will when they failed to do this and to do that. These times is the curses. But he don't understand that, because he leans on his own understanding. And this is our people, man. Just being around them is just... It's like you got love for Jake, but then you just look at Jake and you're just like, what, you're not in your right mind, man. The only thing that can help you is the Lord completely destroying you and taking you off, and you coming back in your proper mind. You know what I mean? And, I don't know about others, but I'm trying to be in that spirit where I'm not trying to be in a hypocrite. At the end of the day, I am not perfect. If the Lord wants to, take me along with 2/3, it is where it is. You know what I mean? You gotta take your beating. You gotta take your beating with humility, because that's what humility really is. But our people don't get this. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that were honest to the elders and apostles of Jim, should be well, shall I want to know for